All right, welcome back to the TCI studios. You guys know the drill. This is Ravens Will over here.
Oh, no.
Hear that, Kayla? That's for
Steeler
you,
Will.
Kayla.
No.
That's for Kayla. We're going to talk a little bit in this segment about the scrimmage. Tigers had their first big scrimmage of the spring Wednesday, right before the team took off for spring break. And Will obviously got to talk to Dabo Wednesday night. I was in transit coming back from our annual one and done in the ACC basketball tournament. Way to waste of time, but hey, we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about football. So, Will, what are some of the things you heard from Dabo about the first big scrimmage of the spring?
The most interesting part about the scrimmage, Robert, that was to come out of it from what Dabo said, was they had the regular scrimmage, which pretty much means they had good on good. Now, the offense started the day off, and this was a good sign. The offense started the day by taking the football and going right on down the field and scoring a touchdown. And so that was good from the offensive standpoint, considering that there's a lot, with the offensive line and stuff like that. So that was a good sign for DJ and the offense, kind of show some of it, because Dabo said in the situational scrimmage they had earlier in the week, the defense dominated that first possession. So it was good to see the offense bounce back, he said. They did a lot of, they did the regular get off the field, they let the players kind of go at it. And then they had some situational scrimmage stuff, goal line situations, short yardage situation, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 6 stuff they do. They saw good and bad on both sides, as they rotated guys in and out. But it sounds like overall that the first team offense and first team defense looked pretty good and that they were pleased with where they were there. The thing, though, that really stood out was after the scrimmage, what Dabo did. Something that he never really does, but obviously the rhetoric this offseason has been that Clemson wasn't tough in the big games. Look what happened at Ohio State. Look at in the loss to Notre Dame.
You got to bring that back up?
Yeah, I'm sorry. And so Dabo, after they get done with this 2-hour scrimmage and they just had goal line, which is the toughest part of the scrimmage, Dabo gets the team together. He gets them all in a circle, and he starts doing one-on-one drills. And for people to understand what one-on-one drills is like, basically you say, Matt Bockhorst, Tyler Davis, go at it. And you say he had receiver on DB, he had safety on running back, he did stuff like that. And the reason why? To get them tougher. And that's the thing I took out of it the most.
Well, the other interesting thing, and I'm wondering if maybe this had a little bit of something to do with why Dabo did that. Another thing he did unusual, I believe, is obviously the next day was pro day. He opened up that Wednesday scrimmage to all the NFL scouts and the NFL guys. Mm-hmm. So you had them there as well, and they, of course, got to see the one-on-one stuff, and that's probably kind of intriguing to those scouts.
Yeah, and actually some of the scouts said this is what makes Clemson so special because nobody else does that. They like that. That's not something any other school does, allows the scouts to come in and watch a scrimmage like that, an open scrimmage, especially during the COVID era right now that we're in, and there's still some stuff that they're going on there. But yeah, so Dabo had NFL teams in there, head coaches, general managers, scouts were in there watching. And so for a guy like Xavier Thomas, for instance, who you want to have him keep his mind right and get him to where he needs to be, this is a good way to keep him focused, because now he's like, oh, you mean tell me such and such is in the stands
32
right now?
teams are watching you today,
Yeah,
Xavier.
exactly.
Step up.
What a great opportunity for him and other guys like that, hey, look, I can show, and if you're like a freshman or something, they say, oh, who's this freshman?
Yep.
Man, we need to keep an eye on this guy.
Opportunity either way, to do well or to not do so well.
Either way, but you would hope the talent level Clemson recruits that they do well.
Yeah. Well, who are some of the names that kind of stood out that you heard from Dabo? Some of the guys that had the good scrimmage.
Yeah, from the we'll try to go position. That's what I'll try to do off the top of my head. It's easier. Obviously, DJ again. Just Dabo said he's made a few mistakes here and there, but DJ quickly learns what he did, and he's so self-aware of things that it's not really that big of a. He's so coachable, in other words. Hunter again stood out again, and he just keeps standing out again. And Dabo says he started off the spring kind of slow, if you will, but he really kind of these last 3 or 4 practices has really kind of just stepped up, and so he had a good spring, good scrimmage. From the running back situation, Pupachan, by the way, did not scrimmage. He was coming back from protocol, as Coach Sweeney says. You know, we don't know what the definite thing was, but he's coming back from protocol, and he
could have
was
been concussion protocol.
It could have been concussion protocol. Dabo is very vague on what protocol is, so we can't assume. We just kind of know, but just don't assume, right? So anyway, he did not participate. He was back. He was on the sideline, but he did not participate. The doctors didn't want to release him right now. And then let's see, running back Lynn J. Dixon obviously was talked about, but the names that stood out the most were Kobe Pace and also the two freshmen, Will Shipley and Phil Maffa. So once again, those guys keep doing what they're doing and dominating on the offensive side. On the defensive side, of course, Brian Brzee stood out, Tyler Davis stood out, and then freshman linebacker Jeremiah Trotter.
Those are some of the names, and we keep hearing Trotter's name, so big expectations there. Dabo talked, I believe, about how wonderful he was after that scrimmage and how different he is than some of the freshmen coming in. So that's a little bit of a teaser, kind of a discussion of what we heard Wednesday after the scrimmage. We'll have a lot more headed your way. We're going to do a ton of videos here for you guys, so stay tuned to TCI for the most complete coverage of Clemson football and recruiting.